from MintTwist. Today I'm going to be live streaming you a course talking about measurement and reporting for your digital marketing campaigns and strategy. It will be about 45 minutes. If you do stay to the end, I've got some bonus tips for strategy that really works in 2020. So my name is Elliott King. I am the CEO and co-founder of MintTwist. You can connect with me directly. I'll be delighted on most of the channels, but in particular LinkedIn and Twitter. So I will share my screen and we'll get going with the presentation. Hide that, open that. And here we go. So today's topic is all about management and measurement. So how do we measure the success of our digital marketing campaigns? And then how can we use those insights, those measurements that we take, and then report back effectively to our clients? That's what we're going to be focusing on. So let's start off by reviewing some of the key skills we need for the key channel groups that we'll be looking at. So first of all, let's talk about the paid marketing groups, the paid digital marketing channels. So social media advertising, is one. That's a group of channels that we can use to reach potential customers and bring them into our funnel. Obviously, search advertising, so Google AdWords, but we can do it on Bing and Yahoo and Yandex if we're in Russia, and plenty of other search engines. And then we've got remarketing, which is a subset of the other channels, but it's specifically about going back to a prospect, typically that we've touched with one advert, but they didn't convert. So we're going back to them with a follow-on message. So how are these channels used? Well, social media advertising is particularly good at the top of the funnel. The reason is because it's a great platform for being able to target and to reach our customers, because we don't actually have to know our customers. We just have to know how to describe them. And so it's, for that reason, it's very, very effective. And really what gives it the ability to do that is the targeting capability that's inside social media advertising. So our ability to target people based on their geographics or the demographic description, or any other targeting possibilities that these channels can give us. And then search marketing. So if you think about search marketing, what you're really doing is positioning yourself to capture a search results that someone else has proactively entered into a search engine. So if someone is actively searching for something and we can use advertising to intercept that search, it's very powerful. And because that prospect is actually actively searching for something, we can assume that there's some way through the journey, in their customer journey towards becoming potentially closer to being a customer for our product and service. And so for that reason, search marketing works well in the middle of the customer journey, in the middle of the marketing funnel. And obviously remarketing is all about going back to prospects that have either been on our website or engaged with us in some previous way. And we're using the remarketing capability that most of the other platforms have to go back again to that potential customer and give them another message. And so for that reason, the remarketing tactics work very well to convert customers. So they work well at the bottom of the funnel from a conversion perspective. So let's talk briefly about the organic channels. So there are a whole bunch out there, but the key ones are content. So everything to do with content marketing. This could be video, it could be podcasts, it could be live streaming, it could be blogs, it could be white papers, and many other things. And content really is the driver for the other organic channels. So if we've got great content, we can build a great SEO strategy by marking up that content correctly. We can increase the chance of our website and our web pages showing up in search. Similarly, we can use that content, we can repurpose content and talk about our content on social media. And if we do that intelligently, we can cultivate discussions with target customer groups, and we can, if we're clever, we can orientate those discussions around the content we're creating. And then PR, there are plenty of people in the world of SEO today who are correctly, in my view, talking about digital PR being, the new name for SEO. If you think about it, SEO in the broader sense is about making yourself visible, making your company visible, and digital PR is just another way to describe it. So just explicitly what we mean by that is how can we create outreach programs where we're connecting with other organizations and individuals, potentially collaborating with them, sharing their content, and building bridges which allow us to have more visibility within our market. So the key skills, understanding the value of content it's a vehicle really for us to get our message across to our customers. If we are going to create effective content, it's got to be genuinely useful and genuinely helpful, or genuinely, interesting, or potentially even entertaining, depending on what sort of market we're in. And then, SEO fundamentals, ensuring we've got the right SEO strategy, right keywords connected with the right pieces of content and marked up in the correct way. And social media is the name's on the tin. It's all about being social. So how can we engage with our network? It's not, just about syndicated content all the time. And, digital PR, how can we use digital to hack the process and increase awareness? So, in summary, the key skills, in terms of measuring performance would be, how do we calculate ROI, which is return on investment? Obviously very, very important for most digital marketing strategies, but also remembering that the customer journey is multi-channel. Okay, and that is particularly important. Let's talk about some metrics now. So in general, if we think about a marketing funnel, we've got people at the top of the funnel, we want to reach them. And one way of measuring our ability to reach customers is how many impressions are we generating across the channels? What is the cost per impression? So how much does it cost us to reach a prospect? How much does it cost us to reach 1,000 prospects? Is it £50? Is it £10? Is it €5? Is it $1? Whatever it is, that's our benchmark. And the next time we run campaigns, we want to, as well as reach customers, so serve impressions, we want to do it at the best cost, or at the lowest cost. And then engagement is very often about clicks. So when we talk about CPC, it's a cost per click. And these would be the sorts of metrics that we would be using if we're measuring engagement campaigns. So if we've got campaigns that are conversion focused, so campaigns that are all about getting, or motivating a customer to make a tangible move, we can talk about goal conversions. So websites will have goals on them. If it's an e-commerce website, it will be to check out, to check out and make a purchase on the site. If it's a B2B professional services site, it might be to make an inquiry on the platform, to fill out an inquiry form. It might be to sign up for an event. It might be to download a voucher. There will be macro and micro goal conversions. And when we run campaigns that are focused on motivating audiences to make one of those moves, then we would want to measure the number of goal conversions, but also the cost per conversion. And similarly, if we're set up to measure, end to end, how much, how many customers have we actually signed up, and if we've got systems in place that allow us to track that back to an original, Facebook ad, or or search engine result, and or website visit off the back of a direct search, then we might be able to pull our data together and actually get a cost per acquisition of a customer. Okay, a measurement example. Let's imagine we're an event we're a company that uses events to generate leads for our sales team. Let's imagine we've got an industry event and we want between 60 and 100 key attendees to join that event. We need 120 signups. So what's our process? Well, let's imagine that what we decided to do in order to make this work is to use a promotional video to sell the benefits of the event. We decided we want to use an event landing page to capture the inquiry, and then we've got obviously a sign up form, and we've got some post-event marketing. And what we've decided to do is we're going to use the LinkedIn platform to promote our video, and then we're going to use AdWords to capture people who are entering search terms that are related to our event. And then we're going to use remarketing to remarket to those individuals who've landed on the landing page but didn't actually sign up for the event. So let's assume then that our event has run, it was a success, we got our 120 signups. And what we're doing now is evaluating the results of that campaign. So as you can see, we've got LinkedIn is this column, we've got some AdWords data, and we've got remarketing. And what we want to do is ask ourselves some questions. First of all, what was the cost per sign up? What was the cost per sign up for each channel? Which was the best channel? And then what more do we need to ask to be able to evaluate this campaign? So to get to the cost per sign up, we just add up the total cost. So along the bottom here, we can see we spent £10,000 on LinkedIn ads, 5,000 on Google ads, and 5,000 on remarketing ads. And we spent £4,000 on some development work on our website. So the total cost of the digital campaign was £24,000. The total number of sign-ups were 120. And so that equates to 24,000 divided by 120 equals £200. So 200 British pounds is what it cost to get, on average, each one of our event attendees signed up. When we look at the individual channels, if we want to talk about the cost per sign up, the direct sign-ups from the LinkedIn channel, it's £10,000 divided by 10 sign-ups equals £1,000. AdWords, £5,000 divided by 10 sign-ups equals £500 for each direct sign-up. And then if we look at remarketing, it's 5,000 divided by 50, it's only £100. So on the face of it, it's quite easy to say that we might think that remarketing is by far the best channel and LinkedIn and AdWords are meaningless. But obviously, for those of you out here, who know your stuff, and I'm sure it's the vast majority of you, remarketing only really works effectively if it goes in combination with some other form of advertising. And so what has happened in this scenario is that the LinkedIn advertising and the Google AdWords advertising are motivating lots of click-throughs to go onto the landing page, but they're not all signing up for the event straight away. In some cases, they might need to go and check their diaries. They might need to check with their managers and make sure they can take the time off to join the event. And actually, the remarketing campaigns have gone back to some of those prospects a second time and motivated a sign up. So in order to fully evaluate this campaign, we need to understand not just where the signups came from, but where the original click-throughs came from. And then we would have to dig further into the LinkedIn and AdWords data to understand how that's happened. So in short, what we're saying is looking at the channels through only one lens, in this case, conversions or signups, doesn't give you the full picture. The actual conversion path, as we've just noted, might be the first touch comes from the Google ad or the LinkedIn ads, the second touch is from remarketing, and only it's the third touch, or in some cases the fourth or fifth or sixth touches, did those prospects that in the end actually sign up. Moreover, a lot of the organic signups may well have come from a Google ad or a LinkedIn ad. It's just that the platforms weren't able to attribute that eventual sign up back to the original ad. So whenever we run digital advertising for ourselves or for our clients, we will always see a natural uplift in organic conversions, as well as the direct conversions that we can actually measure. So what's the best KPIs for each of these channels? And if we can't just look at them from the perspective of conversions, what are the best KPIs? Well, for LinkedIn, it's almost for a LinkedIn video, and for a video on most platforms, it's probably worthwhile looking at how many viewers were actually highly engaged with that video. Most of the advertising platforms will give you the number of views to at least 75%. It means those viewers that watched 3/4 of the video. And in this case, we had 1,000 of those people did that. So we might have a KPI of cost per view, and that would be, in this case, 10,000 divided by 1,000. It's £10 for a cost per view in this particular case. AdWords, it's the cost per click, because we're trying to motivate as many click-throughs onto the landing page as possible. In this case, it's 5,000 divided by 1,000 is £5 as a cost per click. And then remarketing, what's the KPI? Well, for this one, it absolutely is cost per conversion. The whole point of doing remarketing is we want to convert as many of the audience as possible. So that would be cost per conversion, the KPI here. Now, what's the point in even measuring this stuff? The event's already happened. Why do we even bother? Well, in most cases in digital marketing, what you're trying to do is continuously improve the performance of your marketing funnel. So the next time we run an event, or the next time we run a campaign, we might still want to run a video, but we want to create a better video. So we might want to make it more engaging in the first 5 seconds. We might want to pack it with more of the information that we believe our audience wants. And if we make an assertion like that and we make a change, the next time we run this campaign, we would want to see not only maximizing the number of video views, but we would also want to see that KPI of cost per view come down. Most of the platforms reward higher quality advertising content because they believe a better experience for the users is good for the platform as well as for the advertiser. And so we would expect our cost per view to come down if we create a more effective ad. Exactly the same for AdWords. If we optimize our advertising on AdWords, we can bring down our average cost per click relative even to our competitors, which means we can buy more audience share for the same money. And that's what optimizing advertising is all about. And remarketing, as we said, it's focused on conversions. Okay, let's talk about analytics. But before I do that, let me drop out and drop back into Restream and see what's going on. Okay, good. All right, let's get back into analytics, and let's talk a bit about analytics now. Current slides. Okay, here we go. So let's talk a bit about Google Analytics. So first of all, what can we learn? What can we learn from inside Google Analytics? Which reports should we use, and what can we do with the information? I think let's start at the beginning. So Google Analytics is a SaaS-based piece of software developed by Google that lets webmasters, digital marketing professionals, and anyone else who's interested know exactly what's happening on your website in terms of user behavior. Now, the data is anonymized, so out of the box you can't tell exactly who is on your website, but what you can do is look at the trends in the user behavior and make judgments and updates. Okay, so how to use Google Analytics? First of all, any measurements that we're taking, any data that we're looking at, we want to draw out insights, we want to take some action, we want to make a change, and then we want to measure the results. So Google will talk about the ABCs of Google Analytics. Broadly speaking, there's 3 types of reports we can look at. Acquisition reports, quite simply, is where do users come into our website from. Behavior reports is what do they do when they're actually on that website. That's mainly to do with what content they're interacting with. And conversion reports lets us look at all of this data from the perspective of goal conversions. So how many people are actually buying from our e-commerce shop, how many people are actually filling out an inquiry form, and how many people are signing up for an event, or whatever the goals are that our website is set up to motivate. So let's just drop out of, and we'll give you a live example of Google Analytics, and I will show that to you just now. Share that screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is what Google Analytics looks like. At the very top level, it will tell you for any sort of period of time how many users have been on your site. What's the bounce rate? A bounce rate is when someone comes onto your website. If they don't look at another page, if they simply come off the website after that first page, then that's counted as a bounce. In general, we want a bounce rate to be low, because if it's low, it implies when users come onto our site, they visit more than one page, which implies engagement. The average session duration tells you how long an individual user has been on in average, how long do they spend on your website. So that's 3.5 minutes there. But as I mentioned, there's acquisition reports, behavior reports. Let's dive into the acquisition reports. So if we're going into Google Analytics for the first time, one of the key reports is this channel report. So it will tell you over whatever period of time you want, and I've chosen about the last year here, where are users coming from? Which channel groups are they coming from when they visit your website? So for this particular website, we're seeing that the majority, is just over 60%, are coming from organic search. 25% are coming from direct. So this means they type in the URL directly into their browser and they go straight to your website. Referral in analytics means it's a link back from another site. So this is all of the backlinks that your website might have in the world of the internet. If some user ends up on your website because they click on those links, then Google Analytics will put it in the referral bucket. Social is the social media channels, and then it's paid search, email, and other, if analytics can't tell. So the thing about all of these reports, you can always drill down. So if we drill down into social, it will break it down by the individual social channels. And for this particular website, we see that Facebook's sending the most traffic, LinkedIn second, closely followed by Twitter. However, it's really important that we look not just at the numbers, but at the quality of the engagement. So when we move across, what we see is that the average pages per session and average session duration for Facebook is much lower than it is for LinkedIn and for Twitter. So LinkedIn and Twitter is from the perspective of engaged user for this particular website. Although they're driving slightly lower numbers, they're driving more engaged traffic. Moreover, if we move along the edge here, what we can see is we can look at the traffic in the context of goal conversions. And so for this particular website, the primary goal is for a user to complete the Contact Us inquiry form on the Contact Us page. And if we look at the number of goal conversions that are coming from the channels, we can see that Facebook's only got 5. LinkedIn, however, is 72. Twitter is 27. So what this tells us is that the traffic that's coming from LinkedIn is the highest quality type of social media traffic, closely followed by Twitter in terms of percentage, but also in terms of actual numbers of inquiries in this case. Another report that's always worthwhile drilling down into is the referral report. When you go into here, what you find is there will be a whole bunch of websites in the world that are sending traffic back to your site, but some websites will be significantly more valuable than others. And as we can see, this clutch.co is driving hundreds of conversions for this particular website. And the digital agency network is also driving a significant number of conversions, way more than any other of the types of channels. Indeed.co.uk is sending potential employees and interns, people who are looking to work with the agency. But these two referral websites are very valuable to this particular website. And the insight would be, go and find more of these types of networks. Another report that's sometimes worth looking at is the Search Console, which is also inside the acquisition reports. And this will tell you what are the main organic search terms that people are using, and then clicking off the back of that to get to your website. And you'll always find that your brand name will be very high up, but your most important generic search terms will also be below those branded searches. And that's very interesting for SEO people. Okay, so let's summarize the acquisition. So we want to learn which sources are important. We're finding opportunities, whether it's finding websites that are successfully referring traffic to us, or whether we're developing our SEO strategy. Behavior reports. Let's have a look at some examples of behavior reports. So, as we mentioned, behavior reports are largely focusing on the content, so the actual pages in a website. So if we go to our all pages report, what we'll see is the most popular page in most websites will be the home page. So where you see a backslash, that's just the home page. And then you see your next most important pages, and it's really interesting to understand which are the pages where our audience most wants to see the information. So that's going to inform your content strategy. Another report that's definitely worth looking at is this landing pages. When you click on a landing pages report, what you find is you got your most important pages will generally have the most visitors. But then you might have, for those of you who've got blog articles, you might find that there are certain blog articles that, because they're independently ranking well in search engines, they'll be driving a significant amount of traffic that's landing on our website. So when we say landing pages, we're talking about entry points to the website. So these are the pages that are actually working independently of the home page to bring website visitors into our website. And where we see blog articles that are ranking highly, this is an opportunity for us to go into those blog articles, update them, direct users who are coming into those types of pages to other more relevant content to increase engagement. Because we can assume that if users are coming in to these types of blog articles, it means that they're potentially interesting to us because they're interested in our content, but it also means that they haven't come explicitly to learn about our product and service yet. But if we're writing the right sort of content, they might be someone who would be interested in becoming a customer at some stage in the future, which is why we want to use these sorts of opportunities to create engagement with those sorts of individuals. Similarly, you can look at exit pages, which is where people leave a website. If you've got exit pages that are pages where you expect people to leave, so for example, contact us, that's not a problem. That's where people should leave the website from in this particular case, because that's the final step in the process of engaging with us. But if it's a page where you would rather people not, like a blog article page, for example, you can look at some ways of trying to reduce drop-off from those pages. Okay, so let's jump back into our PowerPoint. Okay. And so to summarize behavior reports, we want to learn what pages visitors are interested in, what types of content they want to see. We want to see where users enter our site, but also where they leave our site, and we, as always, develop appropriate insights and actions. So there are different types of goals we can set up. A destination goal is when someone hits a specific destination. So if you're an e-commerce website, the checkout page would be where you want people to end up. If you're a service-based company that's looking to generate inquiries, the thank you for your inquiry page is where you'd want them to set up. If you're a website like a media company that monetizing users, then you want to keep people on the site for as long as possible and have them potentially visit as many pages as possible. So duration and pages per screen goals would be the most relevant in those cases. Events-based goals allow us to set up more complex goals and connect with other systems. And really, the setting up goals, the whole point of setting up goals is so that we can measure conversions. And as we've seen in the other reports, you can actually look at any piece of data in the context of how well it's performing in terms of motivating users to complete specific goals in your website. There's different types of attribution modeling, but we'll move past that. Let's talk about reporting. So you can't manage what you can't measure. So developing a reporting dashboard, in my view, is one of the best ways to keep your internal team and your clients on board with what you're doing. And if we're going to create a really effective digital marketing strategy, we definitely want to have an understanding of the organization's vision. We want to obviously put in place a strategy that's going to support the goals. And then the sorts of top level KPIs we use would be directly connected with our goals and our strategy for achieving those goals. And then the sorts of metrics and measures fall out of the KPIs. There are lots of different factors we need to think about, but let's talk about a specific approach to creating a dashboard. So step one is restate the objective. So what is your core objective? Now, if you're a car valeting organization, the biggest independent one in the UK, you might be interested in maximizing sales inquiries from your website. You might have created a project objective that said we're going to use advertising to reach target customers with nice fancy cars using search advertising and SEO. The KPIs would be number of sales inquiries, potentially number of visitors to the website certainly from the campaigns. And then a quality score would be, yes, if we're increasing visitors to our website, but we want to ensure they're the right visitors. So we always want to understand the ratio between visitors and sales inquiries, and we want that ratio to be going up proportionally with our website visitors. If website visitors go up, but sales inquiries stay the same, then that's no good to us. We restate our strategy. In this case, we're going to reach people who are searching for Porsche body repair shop, or BMW body repair shop, or repair shop in North London, or repair shop in the Midlands. So location and brand-based searches, we want to capture them and drive them to our website. We definitely want to show the movements of results. In this case, we said we're tracking reporting on website visitors and conversion rate, so the rate at which they convert into sales inquiries. We want to visualize the funnel on our dashboard. So what are we doing to reach targets? What are we doing to convert them? And then obviously the core objective, in this case, it's sales inquiries. We need to track that. We need to track our spend. And then you put it all together. And if you're able to articulate what you're doing in a simple one-page dashboard, in my experience, it makes it much more effective. It makes conversations with project sponsors much more effective, because we can keep everyone on the same page. We can make adjustments where we need to, but we can also track progress over a longer time. And most things in life come to those who wait, and it's the same with digital marketing. It needs time to work. So I said I'll bring in a little bonus. Let's talk about some strategy trends that I think are influencing digital marketers all over the world as we speak. First of all is the growth of competition for digital media ad placement. So there's no doubt at all that brands, organizations, businesses of all sizes are jumping on the opportunities of digital advertising, and they're significant. But the truth is, on many of the platforms, it's driving up the average costs. At the same time, because there are more advertisers on the platforms, the organic reach of our posts is relative to a few years ago is decreased. And so what those two things mean to most brands and businesses out there is that the value of your owned media, so your own website, your own video series, your own podcast series, your own blog, the value of those content marketing plays to engage your audience, it goes up. Because if you've got an audience of an engaged audience that enjoys your content, that is a great way to stay in touch with your audience. It's also a more cost-effective way than constantly paying some other platform to reach them. Now, to clarify what I'm saying here, I think there's absolutely a place for digital advertising, but it's really about reaching people and bringing them in to your content marketing strategy so you can engage them with your owned media. And then that, if correctly executed, having your owned media strategy in place, you can just have a better connection, with your clients. So you can reach more of your clients via your own content. Trend 2 is the increase in voice interfaces. Now, there's no doubt that this has got a way to go. However, there's also no doubt that all the platforms are so heavily invested in voice interfaces that it's likely to become a thing. So ensuring that the value of our content is optimized for voice interfaces, and to ensure that the awareness of our brand, is in place. If we can do those two things, we'll position ourselves well for the future. If you think about the way people will ask about something with their voice, it's materially different than the way that we would type something into a search engine. You're much more likely to use branded terms when you speak to a voice interface than you are if you type in an equivalent search on the search engine. So the power of brand, is going to be continuously important. And then, so what we believe at MintTwist is that organizations, brands of all types and shapes and sizes should be planning, producing and marketing branded content, whether it's podcasts, whether it's video, whether it's blog articles, or whether we can repurpose across all of those media types. If we can create a series of episodic events that are genuinely interesting and engaging for our audience, then we will give ourselves a significant competitive advantage over our competitors. And then we still make use of all of those amazing social media channels and search channels, but we're really using them to bring prospects into our owned media play. And if we look at someone like MintTwist, we use search and social and email to capture awareness from potential customers. We engage our customers with videos and tutorials like this, and we've got podcasts going, and we've got live workshops going when we're able to restart them again. And then, what that content marketing play does is it builds up a know, like, and trust factor. And so once potential customers have engaged our content, they've listened to our insights, they feel comfortable that we're an authority on the subject of digital marketing, it significantly increases the chance that they will actually make an inquiry and get in touch with us to get some help with whatever they're doing. So look, thank you very much for listening. It's been my pleasure to have spoken with you all this afternoon. For those of you who are interested, this stream has been brought to you by Restream, and we are streaming on a YouTube channel, a Twitter channel, and a Facebook group, and a Facebook page, and it's been very successful. So until next time, have a wonderful day and a wonderful